course, it's not gonna. Guest, this is Seth. I'm excited that he's here. Why am I excited? Is this it?
That's it.
Right here. This is why I'm excited. He wrote this, and he works with the history division.
That's right.
And yeah, I'm excited. You're going to tell me about this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
This is our 11th and final commemorative volume of a Vietnam commemorative series. We started in 2014.
Oh wow!
And they're supposed to be, short, accessible volumes about the Vietnam War, and they came out generally about 50 years after whatever the volume covered. So this one is about the Marine Corps' withdrawal from Vietnam, and so it begins in June 1969. That's when the first Marine Corps units, the combat units, started to pull out. 9th Marines started to pull out.
Right.
And then it ends with the My Guys incident in May in 1975. But really, that's the climax of the story. But really, the evacuation from Saigon is the thing that's embedded in everyone's memory about. That's when the Marine Corps and U.S. military,
Now you talked specifically about Saigon and them pulling out and everything as well.
Yes. About the Operation Frequent Wind, about the planning that went into it, and all the major players, and then
very cool.
The final Americans to leave were the 11 Marines on top of the embassy roof.
Yeah,
and they were forgotten for a night. And CH-46 came back and picked them up, and so they, the first combat troops, U.S. combat troops to go in Vietnam were Marines. The last ones to leave were the embassy Marine security guards from Saigon.
Wow. So Marines not only led the charge, we were there until the very end.
That's right.
And then,
that's
absolutely. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Give it to the Marine Corps to do that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a good deal. Now as you were writing this, I mean, you had to have done a little bit of research. So like how long, how much research, what all did you do?
Well, we tried to do a short turn on this thing. So we tried to do 6 months. So get it done in 6 months. So it was 3 months of research. It was 3 months of writing. But really what all the commemorative series was supposed to do was take our really thick definitive histories that were really supposed to be reference works. They're not, you can read them, but they're not really meant to read from cover to cover. That's what these things are supposed to do.
Right.
Take that information, distill it, and then. But since those definitive histories were written in the 80s and the 90s, there's some scholarship that's come out since then. There are a lot of Marines who sat down and had oral histories.
Yeah.
There's some records that are out there, so we tried to also use the stuff that we had already written, repackage it, but put new things in there too, because our new understandings of the war, from the Vietnamese perspective. Certainly, there's been a lot done from the South Vietnamese perspective. We tried to incorporate that.
Nice. Too. Okay. Yeah. That's really cool. Now, how much work how did that work when you were getting that information? It was just stuff that they personally told you guys, or
a lot of it from the South Vietnamese perspective. A lot of it was academic writings. So trying to understand how and why did South Vietnam fall, that kind of thing. But from Marines and oral histories. The Marine Corps History Division has always been great about doing oral histories. The oral history program began in Vietnam. And they collected something like 16,000 oral histories.
Wow.
A lot of them are really cool because you can hear a lot of them would be a sergeant or whatever who'd go out to a fire support base, and then there would be Marines there who just came off an operation, and they ask, what did you do? What did you see? What happened?
Yeah.
You can hear airborne artillery. You hear helicopters coming and going.
So they were doing it in combat.
They really were. Yeah. So those were, went back to some of those things, but subsequent to the war, there have been a lot of oral histories as well. So Library of Congress has done great things for veterans oral history projects, looking at those kinds of things. There are veterans organizations who do their own. So there's a lot on the internet now that there wasn't in the 80s and 90s when we originally wrote the.
And now it's easy to hit the search button and find things. Yeah. So. Just type in a keyword or something like that.
It's really easy, There's actually really no excuse to. You can be more thorough today than any historian before, really.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Now, how long have you been working with the history?
Since 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been there a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came in as a writer and worked my way up. I'm chief historian now, so head of History's branch.
Okay.
History's branch, we're the branch that does the writing of these books.
Yeah.
We also have the oral history section. So we have 2 oral historians, and they go around, they interview people, particularly general officers. We only have 2, so we have to pick who do we interview, and then persons of interest. Targets.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice, man. That's it's a cool thing that you guys do, and I appreciate it because it's, to me, history. You gotta celebrate the history, one, and then you don't want those to get lost. And unfortunately, that happens too often.
It really does. I mean, the History Division was created in 1919 to write about the Marine Corps and World War I.
Yeah,
that was its whole purpose. And we exist for the Marine Corps, and we're still doing that. And that's why we're still writing books. We're still archives. Archives branch does great work.
Oh yeah.
We're still collecting oral histories. All of our books are free. That's free online.
So they can pick it up online?
That's right. There's digital copies online. If you go to History Division's website, it's on the banner page right now. You can click it. And then you also, almost all of our books, except for maybe a handful of very old ones, they're all digitized and they're online.
Wow.
If you are someone who likes hard copies, though, you can request them. And if we have them, sometimes we don't have one because they're long gone.
Right.
But if we do have hard copies, we can send you a copy.
No kidding.
Yeah, for free.
Wow. And now to do that, there's a specific thing on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to our website again, you'll see publications, and then there'll be, just follow the links.
Okay. And then what is the website to you guys?
If you Google Marine Corps History Division,
Marine Corps History Division, it's going to populate.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it right there.
Yeah.
Google is an amazing tool, not just for research, but to find a website like this. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And we want Marines to read them, but we want the general public to read them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we try to be as accessible as possible.
Yeah. And like you said, they're all online.
They all are, yeah.
Yeah, all digital copies, so anybody can pick them up.
Yeah.
Man, it's incredible. I love what you guys do.
Thank you. We're always writing books. The major book before this one was we celebrated the 250th anniversary of the birthday of the Marine Corps.
So
we wrote a book about all 250 years of the Marine Corps. We call it Semper Fidelis. It came out last year.
Yeah.
It is the only book that exists where there's all 250 years of the Marine Corps in there.
Wow.
And so a lot of these general histories of the Marine Corps, they stop around 1991 at Gulf War.
Yeah.
This is the only one that goes up through the global war on terrorism.
Right. Yeah.
So we're really excited about that one. We've got a great response from Marines.
Now, that one's been out, maybe 6 months or so? Maybe a little more?
It came out in December.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a book launch event in the Pentagon with the Commandant.
Very nice.
And it was well attended. We handed out 500 books in less than 90 minutes. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
wow, that's incredible.
It really underscores how people still like to have a physical copy, I think.
I think having a physical copy is important.
Yeah, I do too.
You can always pull it up later, and I like seeing the wear and tear from people reading it.
You can write notes in the margins.
You write notes in it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good deal. Now, is there anything else that you want to talk about at History Division, other things, any other projects you guys got coming?
The exciting thing that the director, Dr. Sean Callahan, is doing is we're getting History Division back out to Fleet Marine Force. So the forces and command chronology program is a big thing.
Okay.
So the command chronologies are the building blocks of all our histories. And at this point, units are supposed to submit them every 6 months. It's fallen off a little bit about the submission rate. The director understands that is critical for the Marine Corps. We have to capture the history. Right. Because the Marine Corps will need to understand 10, 15 years from now what's going on now. But that is a really big point of emphasis right now for the director and for Archives branch. For my branch, the next big book we have coming up, somehow it's the 25th anniversary of 9/11 coming up.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it seems impossible.
Holy cow.
We're gonna publish a commemorative anthology about that. Anthology is speeches, documents, previously published pieces, and maybe Leatherneck or Gazette.
Right.
But we also have a few original essays in there. Nice. Marines at Ground Zero, Marines at the Pentagon.
Oh, wow.
So we're really excited about that. We're in the final stages of preparing that. We're going to start laying it out. We have a book cover right now. We're really happy. We had the artist in residence, the Marine Corps' artist in residence. He's at the National Museum of the Marine Corps.
Okay.
We went to him and said, "Hey, could you paint us a painting of the Pentagon?" Because there's a famous story, but not a lot of people know about it, where the Pentagon, when where the airliner hit, and the part of the E-ring fell, there was one of the offices, the Marine Corps flag, and the counsel to the commandant.
I remember this, yeah.
It was standing, and it was right at the edge. It didn't fall in, it didn't burn, and so we had a special painting of that, of the Marine Corps colors standing in the destruction of the Pentagon. It's a very good painting.
That's awesome. So the gentleman you're talking about, he's the official artist for the
Christopher Battles. Yeah, Chris Battles is the artist in residence at the museum. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
He's a great talent.
Yeah. Man, I wish I had a talent like that.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure we all do. But yeah, man. Now, when you guys write these, I know you did this one, but like when you guys did the 250, I imagine that it's a team of people that come in together. Okay.
It really was. We historians have this monkish devotion to writing books, which means someone tells us go write this book, and then we kind of hole ourselves up, and we're alone for a long time. But this was really the first book in my memory, definitely.
Yeah.
We did it as a team. So there were 5 historians working on it.
Nice.
So you have this chapter, I have this chapter, and then we would trade, and it was really, really a team effort.
Nice.
So Semper Fidelis was, I think that's illustrative of the Marine Corps too, being a team.
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
That's right.
It's a organization of individuals. It definitely is. We have to come together as one. The Marine Corps is like that, and the history division's like that too.
Very cool. Yeah. I like the idea that you guys all came together, especially for the 250, right? Like, I mean, if you're encompassing what the Marine Corps stands for and what we do, like you're just saying, it's all cool that you guys came together.
Yeah, absolutely. And we historians, writers, we couldn't do it without our archivists friends and saying, I think there's this one thing that exists. Do we have it? And they go away and find it. So even that's a team effort. Like the research is a team effort. The writing is, and then the way it looks when you get it in your hands, that's all team effort with our partners at Marine Corps University Press.
Right.
They do great work too.
Very cool. Well, shoot, man. Thanks for coming on and doing this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say to anybody? Or?
Well, if ever you have a question or a need, just Google us, as I said, and we're going to help out however we can.
Yeah. And I've got to tell you, these guys are incredible. They always, like, if I ask a question, I need anything, I shoot it to these guys and I get a response almost immediately. So,
glad to hear
they're great guys. They're just fun to hang out with too. So if you get a chance,
we are,
hunt them down, hang out with them.
Yeah, please do.
All right, cool, man.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, man. Much appreciated.
No more 22. Honor the journey and finish the fight.